Today on Twitter, somebody asked about the presence of some sort of equivalent of the CF dump tag in Grails or Groovy. In about over a year of working with Groovy and more specifically, pretty intensely over the last month, trying to learn a lot of things, I have to be honest, as a Cold Fusion user, although CF dump was probably one of the tags I took advantage of quite often, it's not something that I've really missed while working with Groovy and Grails, and this video I thought I'd throw together to kind of show why it's something that I haven't missed. And the reason that I haven't missed it is that when working with Java in particular and Groovy and Grails, um, there's some really good tools for debugging that are available to us. And what I'll show you here today is the debugging in the Spring Source tool suite. IntelliJ has something very similar, which is actually, in my opinion, a little bit nicer, but the machine I'm working on here today has Spring Source Tool Suite, so we're going to go ahead and show that. So what I've put together here is a simple unit test, and all it does is declare some variables. So I declare a string, an integer, a boolean. I define a variable which is the result of a function call, a map, which actually I'm not typing as a map, I'm just defining it. One of the nice things about Groovy is that although it's loosely typed, we can provide a static actual definitive type, or we can just define it and let that value change as it may, which is a nice thing to have when it comes to certain things. And then I've got a list. Then I loop over that list with a closure, each closure, and then I do a function call within that list. And then I have a private function down here which simply takes two arguments, adds those together, and returns that result. So as you can see here, I've got a couple breakpoints set here in the gutter, and we do that just by simply double-clicking in the gutter, and that sets our breakpoint. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and run this test and watch as the IDE stops and lets us inspect those variables. So to run it here in Spring Source Tool Suite, we just go ahead and click Debug As. Actually, we just click Debug, and we're prompted which way we want to debug it, whether we want to run the app or test the app. So we'll click Test App, and the Eclipse goes ahead and does its thing here, fires up, starts running the test, and when it gets to that first breakpoint, we can see here, if we look up here in the variables panel, we can see that we have our variables at this point laid out for us. So in this case, we've declared string, and we can click on it and see that the value is this is a string. We can drill in, kind of look at the metadata or object properties within that particular object, and then we can step into that, step over it, do all kinds of the familiar step debugging tasks within Eclipse here. And if we just click resume, we can see that the value of x is 2, and so on and so forth. So we have a boolean which is true. Come down here, and this is the result of our function call. Actually, I put a breakpoint down here so that we can see that within the function call we also have access to the function local variables a and b, which are both 1 in this case, as well as the local result variable, which is 2. Resume, and we can see that back here in the test the result variable is also 2. We drill through, we have our map, and we can see here that key equals value. We can drill into that, look at we also see over here that in the value column it tells us what type Groovy has assigned to that particular variable. And as we drill through, again, we have a list, which is basically an array here in Groovy, and the value is 1, 2, 3. And as we drill through the closure, we're just adding that function, calling that addIt function within the closure and passing the current value that we've got within the loop and adding that. So that's a quick overview of how to step debug within Spring Source Tool Suite. It's pretty similar within IntelliJ. Same concept of just double clicking in the gutter and